they put Caitlyn Clark on the bench and sub her in with 4 minutes left in the quarter. What kind of momentum can a person possibly get? But they're not going to pass her the ball. They're not going to give her the minutes. It's the same crap. We knew that would happen.
Couple of years ago, one of the excuses that we were given as to why Caitlyn Clark was left out of the Olympics, they insinuated that the Olympics were being reserved for veteran WNBA players who had more experience. But the main reason Caitlyn Clark was excluded, it's because they were worried that she was going to steal the spotlight. They were worried that she would divert attention away from unknown players who wouldn't be properly identified by their parents. Jealous WNBA players who have been deluded into thinking that they are stars, they wanted the spotlight all to themselves. Now, of course, they got half of what they wanted. Caitlyn Clark was left off the team and she took the spotlight with her. Because without the Great White Hope on Team USA, no one watched the Olympics. One of the other concerns with having a star of this magnitude on a roster surrounded by anonymous faces and unrecognizable names on the backs of their jerseys, they were worried that everything would be overanalyzed. Every decision would be under a microscope. If Caitlyn Clark wasn't in the starting lineup, people would complain about it. If her teammates were not getting her involved, they would be accused of being jealous. If she was given limited playing time, fans would complain that Caitlyn Clark was being underutilized. Now, to their credit, this is one of those rare times when jealous WNBA players were actually right, because everything they were concerned about is happening right now. According to the mainstream media, this is so unfair. These anonymous players and coaches, they're being unfairly criticized by Caitlyn Clark fans, also known as white people. This only happens in women's basketball. These women are treated so poorly, it's just not right. Overanalyzing is not exclusive to pretend basketball. Anytime something captures the attention of the mainstream, it's at risk of being overanalyzed. A couple of years ago, Steve Kerr was universally criticized for benching Jason Tatum at the Olympics. The month before, he won the NBA Finals. He was considered to be one of the best players in the NBA. But for some reason, Stevie just couldn't find minutes at the Olympics for Jason Tatum. Steve Kerr was accused of having a personal vendetta against him. The media invented all kinds of reasons as to why Steve Kerr refused to play Jason Tatum at the Olympics. So, this isn't something that's exclusive to pretend basketball. It's just the first time WNBA players are dealing with it because this is the first time people are actually paying attention. But there's another reason that Caitlyn Clark fans are pointing this out. There's another reason that people believe Caitlyn Clark is being shunned by her teammates, or that she is being underutilized. Now, whether or not it's true, whether or not Caitlyn Clark is being ostracized by her teammates, it really doesn't matter. Because the perception is the only thing that matters. And ironically enough, WNBA players have no one to blame but themselves. Make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. It's going into the sponsor for today's video, my good friends at Sugar Mountain Trading. My uncle called me back in November. He's a military veteran, served in the Gulf War in the early 90s. As he's gotten older, been dealing with various health-related issues. Doctors had him on pain management, had him taking all this medication just to get him to sleep at night, most of which wasn't working. Once the meds wore off, he was tossing and turning all night. Plus, He was building up a tolerance to it. My aunt bought him some CBD lotion from Sugar Mountain Trading, wanted him to try it out just to see if it would work. My uncle applies the CBD lotion every night before he goes to bed. He is getting the best sleep that he has gotten in years. Doesn't even take the pain medication anymore because he doesn't need it. Over the holidays, one of my longtime viewers reached out to me telling me how the CBD lotion from Sugar Mountain alleviated his back pain. He had been dealing with back pain for years, couldn't find anything that would work. Bought a bottle of CBD lotion from Sugar Mountain Trading. 20 or so minutes later, back pain gone. I have got countless stories from viewers, friends, family. Everyone tells me the same thing. They cannot believe this stuff actually works. There's a reason Sugar Mountain Trading has been with me for 18 months now. My audience keeps buying their CBD because Sugar Mountain Trading is the real deal. All CBD products offered at Sugar Mountain Trading, 100% natural, 100% free of THC. So click the link in the description or the pinned comment below. Use by promo code BTL25, BTL25. Receive 25% off your first purchase with Sugar Mountain Trading. Last night, Team USA put together a dominant performance against Puerto Rico, or as Bad Booger prefers to call it, my beautiful homeland that was taken over by the evil colonizers in America. There's a guy here on YouTube called ESP Ben. Judging by his attire, I'm assuming that he is a diehard fan of Caitlyn Clark. Credit to him, though, for doing the legwork. He broke down some of the plays from last night's game. Now, according to ESP Ben, along with thousands of others on social media, this is proof that Caitlyn Clark is being shunned by her teammates. This is proof that WNBA players are resentful and jealous because the Great White Hope is receiving all the spotlight. Watch for yourself.
Right when Caitlyn Clark gets put in the game, she's calling for the ball. They're not going to pass her the ball. Look at this. They're both going for a rebound. But Angel Reese thinks she's the better point guard. She takes it up and just wastes a possession. Caitlyn Clark makes a beautiful move, dries it, dishes it over her shoulder, and Angel Reese throws it out of bounds. See, Caitlyn Clark moves the ball, but the problem is, I don't think she's going to get the equal opportunity. Look at this. She gets taken out again. That's 2 games in a row. She's gotten taken out on a three-pointer. Thea Copper, this is horrible. 3 people on you. Caitlyn Clark is wide open. Don't pass her the ball. Caitlyn Clark with a great steal. They'll say she doesn't play defense, so I threw in some defensive highlights, and then she gets hit in the head. Why is it always her head that's getting hit?
Now, to be completely fair here, some of what he is pointing out is just normal stuff that happens in the flow of the game. For example, Caitlyn Clark was hit while taking a 3. She got hit in the head while driving for a layup. How come my future wife always takes a shot in the noggin? Zion Williamson gets hit in the face multiple times every game. Luka Doncic is constantly taking contact. Hell, LeBron James is constantly taking contact. And even when he doesn't, LeBron pretends like he just got hit by Mike Tyson. So some of the so-called abuse Caitlyn Clark is taking, that's just part of the game. Some of the examples where Angel Reese isn't passing the ball to Caitlyn Clark, that could be explained by Angel Reese having no idea what the hell she's doing. The other one, Kalia Cooper, whatever the hell her name is, she took a layup while being triple teamed while Caitlyn Clark is wide open for 3. That's another example that could be explained by someone not knowing how to play basketball. I mean, there is a reason I call it pretend basketball. But again, the perception is the only thing that matters. And the reason this perception exists is because Caitlyn Clark has been shunned by WNBA players in the past. For starters, I agree that it does not make sense that Caitlyn Clark is coming off the bench and playing 4 minutes a quarter. But Uncle Casey, she's coming off an injury. She's rusty. She needs time to get back into a rhythm. Yeah, how in the hell can you get into a rhythm while your ass is developing soreness from too much ass sitting? Watching some of that game last night, it looked like the entire team was rusty, or as the WNBA would call it, a normal game. Players were throwing the ball out of bounds, layups were catching more air than a Molotov cocktail during a peaceful protest. When people are watching the game for one player, you don't limit their minutes. Chuck Daly wasn't bringing Michael Jordan off the bench. Chuck Daly wasn't giving Michael Jordan 4 minutes a quarter. He knew people traveled to Barcelona to see a show, and Michael Jordan was the show. Now, whether or not her colleagues in the WNBA are intentionally icing Caitlyn Clark out of the game, I don't know, but I completely understand why people believe it. Even though she's only been in the league for a couple of years, there is a lot of history between Caitlyn Clark and jealous WNBA players. Getting poked in the eye, taking hard falls, comments made by players in the media, hell, comments made by the media, being left off of Team USA at the Olympics because veteran players wanted the spotlight to themselves, and as soon as Caitlyn Clark was off the team, the spotlight was turned off. I don't blame Caitlyn Clark fans for having this perception. Now, in fairness to WNBA players, some of what was pointed out was kind of irrelevant. Some of it was normal basketball or the inability of pretend basketball players to play basketball. But at the same time, they have a point. What the hell is Angel Reese doing trying to play point guard? Caitlyn Clark is one of the best facilitators in the league. Angel Reese can barely dribble and breathe at the same time. Either way, the controversy is good for the WNBA. This is exactly what you want. You want people talking about your players. You want people talking about pretend basketball. I'm sure the accusations can be annoying, but if Caitlyn Clark wasn't playing, if Caitlyn Clark was left off Team USA, you know what we would be talking about right now with women's basketball? Nothing. Supposedly, Team USA has the biggest stars in the league. Angel Reese, Paige Beckers, Kelsey the Plumber. If you were to believe the mainstream media, these women are must-see TV. But you remove Caitlyn Clark from the equation. America is telling this trio of so-called stars to get off my TV. Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys later.